Hello, in this video I'll be working through the problems from the chapter 6 test from the book on page 411. So here we go. This first one we have y equals 3x minus 7. That means the y-intercept is at -7 down here. And the slope is 3 over 1. So I can write that as positive 3 over 1 or negative 3 over negative 1. So that means up 3, right 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, or down 3, left 1. So 1, 2, 3, 1, like so. So it's going to be a line that goes through these points. Alright, I'm not sure where the other line's going to intersect yet, so I'll just leave that there. For the blue one, we have a y-intercept of 1 and a slope of -1, which means -1 over 1 or positive 1 over -1. For this one, we're going to want to go down right to get over to the other line. It looks like they intersect right there, so I don't need to do too much extra work here, though that was kind of bad. So let's try that again. So I'm going straight down through here. And this one goes up like that. So I believe that the answer is going to be 2 comma -1. Now I'll plug it in to make sure. 6 minus 7 is -1, and -2 plus 1 is -1. So that is correct. Alright, for the next one, these are not in slope-intercept form because they're not solved for y. So I'll need to start by doing that. So let's work on the first equation. First thing I'm going to do is subtract x from both sides. I could put 12 minus x, but I'm going to put -x plus 12 because we want that slope, which is the x term, to come first. I'm going to divide everything by 3. So I get y equals -1/3 x, or -x over 3 is the same as -1/3 x because there's that invisible 1 in front of here, right? Every time there's no coefficient in front of a variable, it's always a 1. And then we have a plus 4. So the y-intercept is 4 right there, and the slope can either be down 1 right 3 or up 1 left 3. So down and right, down right, down right, or up left. Not sure which one I'll use yet. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now I can do the blue one before I actually make my line here. Again, this is not in slope-intercept form, so I need to get the y by itself, so I'll just add 8 to both sides. So I have x plus 8 equals y, and I'll just put the y over here. So y equals x plus 8, so 8 is the y-intercept. The slope is 1 over 1, right, because there's that invisible 1, which could also be -1 over -1, whichever I need to use here. So it looks like it goes this direction, down, left, and this will be the point of intersection here. Here's the blue line, and here's the black line. Alright, so that looks like -3 comma 5. So I'll write that down, -3 comma 5, and I'll double check it. So -3 plus 15 is 12, and -3 equals 5 minus 8. So that looks good. Okay, here we have two equations, again not in slope-intercept form. If I had my choice to solve these equations, I might use something like elimination instead, but since they want me to graph it, I will. So first thing I'm going to do is put them in slope-intercept form. So for the black equation, I'm going to subtract x from both sides. And then the blue equation, I'll do the same thing. You may see this already, but these are going to be parallel because the slopes are the same. So the black one starts at 5 as a slope of -1, which means -1 over 1. So down right or up left. So it's going to go something like this. Is that right? Yeah, that looks good. And then the blue one will start at -2 and do the same thing. So it's going to go -1. Oops, it's not perfect, but get the idea. And they are parallel, so no solution, because they will never intersect. Alright, let's try a new one. So the next section we're solving by substitution. So we're going to be forced to do that. So this is problem 4. And we have y equals 4x minus 7 and y equals 2x plus 9. So they're both solved for y already, so it doesn't matter which one we use. In fact, let me use different colors so you know what I'm doing here. Y equals 2x plus 9. Okay, so I'll plug the red equation into the black. So we have 2x plus 9 equals 4x minus 7. And now I'm going to combine like terms, but they're on opposite sides, so I need to subtract or add those x's together. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. That'll keep the x positive on the right side. So I'm going to end up with 9 on the left and 2x minus 7 on the right. Add 7 to both sides, and I'm going to end up with 16 is equal to 2x. Dividing both sides by 2 gives me an x equal to 8. Now I can plug that into either one of these initial equations here. So I will plug it into, let's see, how about the red one? So y equals 2 times 8 plus 9. So y is going to equal 25. So I think the answer is 8 comma 25. Now I'm going to double check that by plugging into both equations. So 8 times 4 is 32 minus 7 equals 25. Here 16 plus 9 equals 25, so that is the right equation. Alright, next problem. Okay, problem 5, we have 8x plus 2y equals -2. And then we have y equals -5x plus 1. First thing I look for in substitution is to see if something is solved already for a letter, and here we have y by itself, so that's great. It doesn't have to be y, it could be x, but y is fine too. So I'm going to plug into the green equation. So I have 8x plus 2 times -5x plus 1. Use parentheses because that 2 has to be multiplied to the whole y variable. So now we have 8x distributing this 2, so 2 times -5 is -10, and 2 times 1 is +2. Okay, I'm going to combine some like terms here, so 8x minus 8 equals -2. I'm going to add 8 to both sides, giving me 6 over here, and I'm going to divide both sides by 8. So I'm going to get x equals 6/8 or 3/4. So I'm slightly concerned right now that I've made a mistake because I got a fractional answer. Doesn't mean that the answer is wrong, but I'm going to go and recheck my work to make sure I haven't made a mistake. So the problem is correct. The second equation is correct. It is solved for y, so I have 8x plus 2 times -5x plus 1 equals -2. 8x 2 times negative. Okay, so that's what I did wrong. So going back, I have forgotten my x here, so there's an x there, and so that's going to affect everything under it. So I'm just going to go ahead and erase what's below here. So now 8x minus 10x is -2x plus 2 equals -2. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, giving me -4 here, and now dividing by -2 I get a positive. Okay, so now I feel more comfortable with that answer. The fraction could have been correct, but it's definitely worth me going back to check because often they are whole numbers. Now that I know x is 2, I'm going to plug that into the blue equation. So I have y equals negative 5 times 2 plus 1. So y is going to equal negative 10 plus 1, which is negative 9. So now I think the answer is going to be 2, negative 9. Now let's check it. So 16 minus 18 is negative 2. And then negative 10 plus 1 is negative 9. So this is correct. And that's great. I'm going to stop this video and we'll move on to part 2 just so I have them around 10 minutes.